Welcome to Principles of Marketing. We will be looking at Chapter 5, Developing a Global Vision. Chapter 5's learning objectives include discussing the importance of global marketing, discussing the impact of multinational firms on the world economy, describing the external environment facing global marketers, identifying the various ways of entering the global marketplace, listing the basic elements involved in developing a global marketing mix, and discovering how the internet is affecting global marketing. Make sure you read the chapter and review all module content. Let's get started. Gross domestic product is the total market value of all final goods and services produced in a country for a given time period. Final in this sense refers to the final product that are sold, not to the intermediate products used in the assembly of the final product. GDP counts only final goods and services in its valuation of the country's production. Next, we're going to look at the external environment faced by global marketers. A global marketer or a firm considering global marketing must consider the external environment. Central to any society is the common set of values shared by its citizens that determines what is socially acceptable. Culture underlies the family, the educational system, religion, and social class system. A company that does not understand a country's culture is doomed to fail in that country. In general, complex and sophisticated industries are found in developed countries, and more basic industries are found in less developed nations. Average family incomes are higher in a more developed country compared to less developed countries. Larger incomes mean greater purchasing and demand, not only for consumer goods and services, but also for the machinery and workers required to produce consumer goods. A global marketer today must be fully aware of the intertwined nature of the global economy. Slow growth in America and even slower growth in China, Europe, and Japan have hindered global economic progress. Government policies range from no private ownership and minimal individual freedom to little central government and maximum personal freedom. As rights of private property increase, government-owned industries and centralized planning tend to decrease. Regulations give businesses the framework they need to grow and prosper. They produce fairer outcomes when one's business is more powerful than another. Although regulations can overburden businesses and make it virtually impossible for them to operate, two primary determinants of any consumer market are wealth and population. Marketers need to know if the population is mostly urban or rural. It is more difficult to reach populations in a rural area. The final factor is distribution of natural resources. Some natural resources are found in just a few countries. This allows for these countries to restrict supply and therefore inflate prices. Shortages in natural resources created international dependency, a shift in wealth, inflation and recession, export opportunities if resources are abundant, and stimulus from military intervention. Some legal considerations include a tariff, which is a tax levied on goods entering a country. Quota is a limit on the amount of specific product that can enter a country. A boycott is exclusion of all products from a certain country or companies. Exchange control, which are laws compelling a company earning foreign exchange from its exports to sell in a controlled agency. Market grouping occurs when several countries agree to work together to form a common trade area that enhances trade opportunities. And a trade agreement stimulates international trade. Next, we're going to look at global marketing by the individual firm. Exporting is selling domestically produced product to buyers in other countries. Buyer for an export is an intermediary in the global market that assumes all ownership and risk and sells globally for its own account. An export broker is an intermediary who plays the traditional broker's role by bringing the buyer and seller together. An export agent is an intermediary who acts like a manufacturer's agent for the exporter. Licensing is a legal process whereby a licensor allows another firm to use its manufacturing process, trademarks, patents, trade secrets, and other proprietary knowledge. Contract manufacturing is a private label manufacturing by a foreign company. A joint venture is when a domestic firm buys part of a foreign company to create a new entity. Direct foreign investment is an active ownership of foreign company or of overseas manufacturing or marketing facilities. Next, we're going to take a look at the global marketing mix. There are 4 P's of the global marketing mix. To succeed, firms seeking to enter into foreign trade must still adhere to the principles of the marketing mix. The 4 P's of the marketing strategy include product, place, promotion, and price. One important decision is whether to alter the product or promotion for the global marketing place. Some of the product decision strategies are one product, one message, developing a single product for all markets. Product invention, either creating a new product for a market or drastically changing an existing product. Product adaptation is to alter a basic product to meet the local conditions. Promotion adaptation involves altering the promotional strategy without altering the basic product. The product must get adequate distribution. A function of the U.S. Department of Commerce, the U.S. Export Assistance Center offers a gold key matching service that matches a franchise with a franchisee. The firm can then send a representative to the target country to interview the pre-screened partners. This database can uncover hidden risk of potential business relationships. Pricing presents some unique problems in the global sphere. Exporters must not only cover their production costs, but also consider transportation costs, insurance, taxes, and tariffs. When deciding on a final price, marketers must also determine how much customers are willing to spend on a particular product. Marketers also need to ensure that their foreign buyers will pay the price. Sometimes a product can be simplified in order to lower the price. Companies must not assume low-income countries are willing to accept low quality. Exchange rate is the price of one country's currency in terms of another country's currency. If a country's currency appreciates, less of that country's currency is needed to buy another country's currency. If a country's currency depreciates, more of that currency will be needed to buy another country's currency. Currency markets operate under a system of floating exchange. Price of different currencies floats up and down based on the demand for and the supply of each currency. Global currency traders create the supply of and demand for a particular country's currency based on that country's investment, trade potential, and economic strength. Dumping is the sale of exported products at a price lower than that they charge for the same or a like product in that home market of the exporter. The practice is regarded as a form of price discrimination that can potentially harm the importing nation's competing industries. Dumping may occur as a result of exporter business strategies that include trying to increase and overseas market share. Temporarily distributing a product in an overseas market to offset slack demand in the home market. Lowering unit costs by exploiting large-scale production and attempting to maintain stable price during periods of exchange rate fluctuation. Dumping goods has presented serious problems in international trade. Dumping has led to a significant disagreement among countries and diverse views about its harmfulness. The impact of the internet. Opening an e-commerce site puts a company in an international marketplace. Internet-based economy remains hindered by brick-and-mortar rules, regulations, and habits. Global marketing can use social media because it's popular around the world to understand consumers and for global brand building. Thank you so much for listening to the Chapter 5 lecture. Make sure you take some time to read the chapter and look at those PDFs. Have a great night.